Hi, and welcome to the Douglas on My Mind show. I'm Blondell Thomas, the City of Douglas Public Information Manager, and I will be right back in just a few minutes with some upcoming events for September and October and a couple of things that even are going to be happening through December.
Come join us for the Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas. Free admission to the public. Come enjoy food trucks, unique finds, visit with live wildlife, and enjoy downtown entertainment with live music featuring Dark Desert Highway and Eagles Tribute Band. Fun for all kids and kids at heart. Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas.
Hi, and welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show. I am fortunate enough today to have with me the American Legion Post 515 Post Commander, Ms. Alphaline Walker, and Post Service person, I don't know if there's something after that, if it's commander or whatever, but post-service person that's in charge of all the service-related activities, Mr. Jerome Lovin, which he also does a lot of other activities within the group too, I'm sure, because he's always busy, as you are too, Ms. Walker. First, let me thank you for being here today, and then tell me a little bit, what is going on with the American Legion in the next few months?
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing us to be in front of this media to talk to people and expose things, and also to thank the general public for their contributions and the contributions that they're still making to our programs, because that's paramount.
Yes, ma'am.
So the very first thing, we're really busy right now starting off everything, because our year started off in July. And we're talking about planning our Veterans Day program, which is going to be November the 11th at the Weir Center. Okay. We're also doing Veterans Day programs at the local schools and churches. And then we're also taking comfort items for our Dublin VA hospital trip, so we can make sure we honor those veterans who are there. And then, of course, one of our largest programs is Wreaths Across America, which we're conducting fundraisers and things for and collecting, so we have that goal to take care of as well.
Okay. Now, you talked about a little bit about your Veterans Day program at the Weir Center. What will that be?
Basically, what that is, like in the past, that we will have a meal and ceremonies and stuff for the veterans, honoring them. You know, we don't have too many World War II veterans left in our community, and for the veterans who are much younger, those are Afghanistan ones, it's so good for them to be able to see the ones who've paved the way, World War II and the Vietnam era veterans. So we are going to give tribute to them and give them a nice meal and just have some camaraderie.
Oh, that's wonderful, wonderful. Now, I know, and I did kind of skip to the Veterans Day events, but I know you have something, or the American Legion Post 515 has something really wonderful to celebrate coming up in September.
Yes. It is our centennial celebration.
Centennial.
That's 100 years that the American Legion is celebrating this year. And we're so fortunate to partner with the Heritage Museum in Douglas to have that celebration. And we're going to start off for the September 16th from 10 to noon. And that's located at 219 West Ward Street in Douglas. And we've set up displays, pictures, information, flags, and all of that. And that day we're just going to offer some light refreshments and things for people to come over and go through our program. And that display is going to stay in the museum until Veterans Day. Okay. So we're so happy and elated about that.
That would be something really nice. School groups could come here to the museum.
We are encouraging local city officials, the school administrators, all kind of schools, home schools, public schools, private schools. Everyone in this community really can get the information they need, because that's one of our goals, is to educate the public about the American Legion. And we're so happy this is our centennial celebration. It's just really wonderful. 100 years.
That's wonderful. Now, also in September, of course, we have September 11th, and you normally do a pretty nice event. I don't really know, it's called the Community-Wide 9/11 Remembrance. And that you partner with CCA. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, we're partnering with CCA, Coffee High School, NJRTC, and Hardee's. The operations manager, general manager, Mr. Lytle, is the person that came to us before. So we're going to have a ceremony conducted inside this time from 8:30 to 9:30, much shorter than last year. And we are just going to make sure that the information for 9/11 is done in a more abbreviated way. So we're inviting people to come over to CCA in the gymnasium and join us.
Oh, wow. All right, that sounds good. And you said that first responders will also be there?
We're asking the first responders, just like they did before, to come and join us. You know, everybody. This is a time for first responders, military folks, everybody who had somebody that probably was involved in 9/11 to come and join us, because it was really traumatic
It affected
for
everybody.
It really did. It really did. And it's just a short time. It's an hour for them to remember everybody. So we're asking them to come on and join us.
Okay. Well, is there any, let's see, like if somebody wants to join the American Legion, can any veteran join, or does it matter what post of service you, or what you served with, or who you served with? Does it matter?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. We're very fortunate that on July 30th of this year, the American Legion took legislation in, and the president, Congress, and the president approved it. And basically, you went from 6 wars to 2. Okay. So it's called the Legion Act, and now the veterans who served from April 6, 1917 to November 11th, 1918, and then December 7th, 1941, to a predetermined time. We don't even know when they're going to end it. As long as they have an honorable or under honorable conditions, can apply to join an American Legion post. And just like we said, in order for them to apply, they need to make sure they can have their DD 214, fill out the form, and they have to be voted in. So
now, what is a DD 214? What is that? What is that for?
Military people who have been discharged from the military have a form that tells them whether they've been honorable or dishonorable, under honorable conditions discharged. But people who are active duty can also serve in the American Legion. And we do have some active duty members in our post and serving their country all over the place. And what we're trying to do, the American Legion is a large organization for veterans, and we're just trying to get the younger people to join because they help mold the future. So that's why we need, if you're serving active duty, if you recently got out or whatever, we need them to come join. And our post 515 as well as post 18 in Douglas, we have 2 posts that they can join.
Okay, well, that's a lot of great information about the American Legion here in Douglas and how people who have served can join.
Exactly.
Yes, okay.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's flip it a little bit. Let's talk about the Wreaths Across America. Tell us about that, Mr. Luthen.
Well, I'll be happy to tell you about it, and I hope a lot of people are listening. But first of all, thank you, and thank for having us here, and thank the public for all they've done and continue to do for us, because without them, we couldn't do this program. Our greatest, our largest, our bestest, and most important program, I believe, because we're serving, taking care of veterans that are no longer here to do it. Well, we have planned for 74 cemeteries this year.
Wow.
Over 2,700 veterans.
Now, when you first started, how many?
We started with
just one cemetery?
One cemetery,
Okay.
22
Wow.
veterans in 2014. And we've been growing, and we're growing because of the generosity of the public, the community, and, you know, families saying, I want my loved one recognized. So that's why we've grown. But we got a few concerns, though. We exceeded our goal last year in cemeteries, in veterans, and in dollars, but it came right at the end because of a few patriotic Americans. And it happened a year before the same way. If we are to continue and be successful, that cannot continue. Family members, churches, individuals, organizations need to give a little more because they are World War I, World War II, and Korean War veterans. There's no one here to pay the $15.
That's right.
So we do our best to raise, but the ones that got family members here, we need their support. We got a goal of $43,000.
Oh, wow.
We are currently at $25,000 short. Now, we've done our best to raise some money, but we need support
Right.
to do that.
I know y'all often have different fundraisers throughout in the community. I've seen you sitting up at Walmart and at other places, I mean, really, and all you got to do is just take a minute, and you don't even have to buy a raffle ticket. Just give whatever you can. Those pennies or dollars, I mean, they add up.
You know, we take anything.
Right.
Because, you know, we take the change and take it to the bank, and they turn it into dollars, and that works. But let me tell you a little about Reef Across America. It's a 501c3 organization, nonprofit.
Right.
That's the national organization. That means everything they get come from donations. We're a 501c19 organization, nonprofit. Everything we get come from donations.
Right.
But the national goal is to place wreaths on veterans' graves in national cemeteries. Our goal
Not
is
the local.
not the local. Our goal is to place flags and wreaths on the veterans' graves of our great county
Right.
and city and surrounding. Now, the mission of Reef Across America is remember, honor, teach. Now, remember those veterans that have come and gone, paved the way, and some paid the ultimate sacrifice for the freedom we have. We want to honor those that are currently serving and their families, because families serve also.
That's right.
But the major task we have is similar to getting a young veteran, is to teach our young about the freedoms we have and the sacrifices made for those freedoms. That's our major task at hand,
Right.
so that our nation can remain free, because there were sacrifices made for what we have. And our ceremony this year is December the 14th, and from 12 to 1, and it's a annual event, the second and third Saturday of each month in the United States, all across the United States, and 24 foreign countries. So
Oh,
huge,
wow.
huge.
Yes, definitely huge. Now, what do you actually do once you get the wreaths? What is like the process?
Well, the process is simple, but it's sort of complicated a little bit because, see, we never know when the wreaths are coming.
Right.
We gather the numbers, send them up to National. National tell us that they're going to come one day. Normally, it's sometime right after Pearl Harbor Day.
Okay.
And that's when we put flags out. And eventually, a driver will call me and say, I will be there. He may call me like now and say, I'll be there this evening.
Oh,
Or
gosh.
he may call and say, I'll be there tomorrow morning.
Right.
But that's the complicated part. But the easy part about it is our cemetery contact people.
Yes.
They're waiting for a text, a phone call, and they've always been there, lined up, ready to take their wreaths to go out and do
That's
it.
right.
So it's complicated because we don't control when they get here.
Yeah, that's
And our individuals working understands that. So
Okay, now, if somebody has a loved one in a cemetery and they may think that y'all don't know about this location, do they need to contact you or Ms. Al, or?
here's what we've been doing is we personally, when we started this, went and walked all the cemeteries we have, to be
Yes.
honest.
Okay.
And we were able to identify many of the veterans' graves by the military markers. There were many that didn't have military markers, and to the credit of our great citizens, many of them have ordered and got markers since we started.
Oh, that's good.
So first, if there's no marker, if they Google VA Form 40-1330, the application and information that's required to get a marker is there.
Okay.
And that's what's needed. Now, if they want a wreath and it's not marked, we don't know, they tell us, we'll go do that.
Right.
But if they want to put a wreath on a grave that's not in a cemetery we have identified for that year, they need to pick up the wreath and we'll order it, and they take it themselves and place it.
That's right.
Because
Okay.
we identify a cemetery we're going to do, but we'll order as many wreaths as anybody wants.
Right,
If
you
they-
can't go to every cemetery in Coffee County. I know, I mean, we've got several cemeteries.
There are hundreds of
Yeah.
cemeteries.
Yes.
We haven't scratched the surface yet.
Right.
When I first started, I went over to the cemetery operation manager. He has 2 books this thick of cemeteries.
Oh, wow.
Some are public, some are private. But guess what? A veteran is a veteran is a veteran.
Right,
Where there's a veteran, that's where we go.
that's right. All right. Well, let's see, so I think you may have touched on this a little bit. So how many graves or cemeteries are y'all going to this year, and how many do you think you may be placing wreaths on this year?
I'm glad you said it like
Yeah.
that, think we may be, and I'm gonna tell you why. We think we may be going to 74 cemeteries.
Right.
But however, if funds do not come in for
That's
those
right.
cemeteries that we've identified, they may be missed.
That's right.
And we'll do our best, and when someone sends a donation, they tell us where the veteran is buried, cemetery name. We will go to that person, but that whole cemetery may not get there because now, we really hate to place a wreath on one veteran's grave and don't do all of them. But we don't have the funds to do it.
That's right.
So we get the funds, we'll make it happen. So maybe it's a good thing unless
Yeah.
funds come
Yeah.
in. But our goal, and we're determined to make these 74 cemeteries and all 2,700 plus
And you
veterans.
need the funds early. You
Need
don't
them
need
early.
it the day before.
And not the day after. The day before, November the 15th, on that day, we're still good.
Okay.
But when they come in December, you know, we've already passed the deadline because I have to get them up to national, so they got a cutoff.
Yes,
So
sir.
they can get them on the road to get them to us. And since you're talking, you mentioned earlier about someone want to help or something, or
Right.
okay,
Donate or help,
Donate or
physically
help.
help, anything.
yeah, we need people, physical muscle, because last year at the city cemetery, it was about 7 of us at the city, and that's way down from when we first started.
Right.
That's placing out the wreaths, but we need the donations. Now, if anyone wants to get involved with that, just give me a call, 912-592-6413.
All
Be
right.
happy to link them up with a cemetery.
That sounds
And
good.
if you have a loved one, or you just want to donate, wreaths are $15 each. You know, we love you to take a cemetery. I can tell you how many in the cemetery we got. you go
I
ahead.
was just sitting here thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful if a church that is affiliated with the cemetery next to it, or either affiliated with the cemetery, if they could just adopt the cemetery and purchase all the wreaths for all the veterans in that cemetery? Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be awesome, and I'm gonna give credit to West Green and Satilla. For the most part, every cemetery that we've identified, churches and individual families are doing that.
Okay.
That's West Green and Satilla. I'm gonna say again, West Green and Satilla.
West Green and Satilla, but there's a lot more churches out there, aren't there?
There are a lot more cemeteries in and around that
That's
are not,
right.
not doing it. So those churches, they're doing fine. It would be great, but we just need as much help, monetary and physical support as we can get.
Okay, well, you've talked about when you put the wreaths out. What do you do after Christmas, or after, you know, they may start dying or something like that? Do they contact you to go back and pick it up, or do you expect the person who purchased the wreath to go pick it up? How does that work?
I missed one part of the process. December 7th, we put flags out on
Okay.
all of these graves. That helps us when we place the wreaths out. Now, once the wreaths are out, they start turning brown about the middle of January.
Okay.
We take them up. And when we take them up, Post 18 has been gracious enough each year to allow us to put a roll back there so they can take the wreath. When I said they, the points of contact, you know, for instance, I got the city cemetery.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to make sure we'll get help to go take them up. We ask family members to come help us, and we've been pretty good at getting families and the contacts to get them up and take them down to Post 18 and throw them
Okay.
in the dumpster.
All right. So is there anything else you might want to tell people about Wreaths Across America?
Yes, if you want to donate, mail contribution to and payable to American Legion Post 515, P.O. Box 2094,
Okay.
Douglas, Georgia 31534.
All right.
And that comes in, we take it and get it in process.
And the main thing is if they see you or Miss Al or anybody, even on the street, and you think that you may want to donate to any one of your programs,
Right.
Just, hey, say, hey, I need to, here, let me give you some money real quick. You know, I mean, just anything like that. And you have said it, y'all are 501c3, which is another good thing for people who wish to make donations.
And if they say what program they want, because we got, well,
Got several.
Commander want to talk about that later. They say what it is, and we'll make sure to go there.
Okay, all right. And now, the next big question is, what other events do y'all have planned?
Well, one of our major things that we have going on for school children are our oratorical contests. That's for high school students.
Okay.
And that's one of the things where we're trying to make sure they learn about the state, the flag, the Constitution, those kind of things. And we're looking for high school students to participate.
Okay.
We know that there are groups out there who teach kids speaking ability like FBLA, you know, civic classes. So we want to try to get them in to participate. Then we have a 5th grade essay contest, and this was just started last year, and this is sponsored by our district. We're in District 12. And basically, the topic is what America means to me. And we want 5th graders to provide that essay, and then we have a group of teachers who are the judges to select the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place where we can send up to our district. And the winners actually win money. The 1st place winner wins $100,
Wow.
2nd place $75, and the 3rd place winner gets $25. So we're trying to get kids started early, learning about Americanism, you know, the Constitution and things like that. And then we also have Boys and Girls State. Boys State is sponsored by the American Legion, and it's one of the most respected programs and stuff that we have because it teaches boys about local, country, and state, county, and state government. And it takes them to a different area each time, and they can meet boys from all over the state of Georgia. And then the auxiliary sponsors Girls State, which is very similar. And one of the things I think where Coffee County kind of fits in, the mayor has a youth group.
Mayor's Youth Council. yes.
Mayor's Youth Council. Those would be the perfect candidates to get into these 2 programs, because if they're still interested in local government, state government, that's a stepping stone, and that's what we're really trying to do is develop leaders.
Right.
To develop leaders.
I was just recently at a conference, and one of our sessions was on building citizenship.
Exactly.
Citizenship skills in your community. So that is a great program, and I would definitely say any child or, well, you said 5th grade, I think. Or
No,
high school.
the high schoolers.
High school.
Yes.
That are interested in civic duties, or if they want to volunteer or anything like that, they have plenty of opportunities with you all.
Right. For the Boys and Girls State, it's usually juniors.
Okay.
Juniors in high school that they try to get. And then on top of that, we collaborate with a lot of organizations around Douglas to help them with their ventures. For example, we support South Georgia State College. They have plays that they put on, which, you know, talks about everyday life and how people are living. So they have another play that's coming up pretty soon, and it's called Pretty Fire.
Oh, okay.
And one of our Legionnaires brought this to our attention. And the thing is, we try to support these community events. And this one is September 26th through the 29th. And the admission is a $10 donation. And it just helps them. And that's just another way that we get involved in community activities as well. So it's not just us and what we're doing.
Right.
We just try to make sure we're promote the community, because part of our whole thing is with the American Legion. We're supporting veterans, their families, the community, you know, rehabilitation for veterans, children and youth. We're trying to promote Americanism, and that's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to do that in an all-encompassing way.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have a lot of things coming up. And once again, could y'all give that phone number, or how could people contact you if they want to get involved with any of your programs?
My phone number is 912-381-0547.
My phone number is 912-592-6413.
All right. And now, do y'all have any other comments you want to add? Anything that we didn't talk about?
Well, maybe not didn't talk about, but briefly, when it comes to Reef Across America, we've mailed out or passed out over 1,000 postcards that talks about the program. It'll be great if we get 500 of them back with some kind of contribution.
Right.
So, and we're going to send out reminders. And also, we've done some fundraisers. We have one that we're going to start, and you'll be able to get more detailed information about it. But it's a rifle pistol shotgun giveaway as the first prize is one of those, and $100
wow.
cash is the second one. We're going to be out at Old Times and Tractor Supply.
Times, okay.
And, Old Time Tractor Supply very soon with raffle ticket, 1 for $5, 3 for $10. And thank you for having us here for sure, because we get a chance to talk about these things. I asked every veteran, join an American Legion somewhere.
Right.
Because of the long overdue Legion Act, there's no reason for us not to just be 6 million strong.
That's
Well,
right.
we're 2 now, but we should be 6 million strong, because the reason we have the GI Bill and the Legion Act is because of the determination of the American Legion leadership.
Yes.
Going to Congress and say, here's this. Now, I don't want to get too long, but the way this change came about is our leader went and said, there are 6 periods, but in between those 6 periods, there were other places our veterans, our military was sent, and they fought and they died and had injuries. So they included them. That's why it was compressed down to 2. So our
Okay.
Legion leadership is working, but power comes in numbers. So
right.
I'll ask, with that, 6 million more veterans are eligible to join. 1,600 lost their lives in those conflicts. Programs and activities is the foundation of our organization. Membership is the lifeblood. We need them. Volunteers, we need you. Donations, we need you. Just get them in and come help us as soon as possible.
Join, donate, and volunteer today.
Yes.
To the American Legion.
That's it.
515.
That's it.
All right. Well, I really appreciate y'all being here today and telling us about the things that are coming up, and it's always a pleasure to have y'all on
Yes,
here.
thank you so very much. We really do appreciate it. And you know, we have, Jerome calls them, he has a name for them, their team, but we really do have some really good volunteers, the youth, from the CCA Leo Club.
18.
Yeah, that's what he calls them, his A-team.
His
And Coffee High School, NJROTC. Those young people are so positive about their contributions and what they're doing. We appreciate them so much, and we never want them to think that they're not appreciated, because they really are. They help us so much, and we want everybody to start, other people to start joining in helping us, because this is the foundation of what we're doing. And those veterans who we saw before who could not join, this is the time for them to get on board, because we need them. We need them.
All right, well, thank y'all again.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
Come join us for the Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas. Free admission to the public. Come enjoy food trucks, unique finds, visit with live wildlife, and enjoy downtown entertainment with live music featuring Dark Desert Highway and Eagles Tribute Band. Fun for all kids and kids at heart. Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas.
Hi, and welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show. I am very happy to have with us today Chief Shane Edmiston. He is our new police chief. Well, he's not really new anymore. He's been with the City of Douglas Police Department since March. And this is just a little bit of a Q&A session with him for everybody to try to get to know him a little bit better and to see what his expectations of the police department here in Douglas is, and what he's looking forward to building relationships with the community and how they're planning to do that. So, Chief Edmiston, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of background, where are you originally from?
I grew up in Beaufort, Georgia. I'm not a Beaufort Wolf. I went to North Gwinnett High School. There's a big rivalry up in that area.
Okay.
But I grew up in Beaufort, went to North Gwinnett High School, and worked for the Suwanee Police Department for over 25 years. While at Suwanee, I moved through the ranks and retired as a captain, second in command over Administrative Services Division. I was over patrol before that. And my wife and I decided we wanted a change, and she wanted a change in scenery. We wanted to get closer to the beach, maybe. So we put in applications, or I put in applications, and she closed her business down, and we ended up in Douglas. It wasn't in our plans, 2 or 3 years ago, but we've ended up here, and she's getting ready to start a new business, and we just think that God put us here. We've got a son that's going in the Navy, And my daughter's, our daughter is at ABAC, so she's only about 40 minutes away, far enough away to where we don't have to feed her every night, but close enough to where we can see her if we want to.
That's right. Yeah, my son just recently moved to Valdosta, so I know that feeling. He's in Valdosta, but yet he's close enough that he can come home if
Yes.
he needs to. Well, how many years of police training do you have, and what different types of training?
I started with the Suwanee Police Department when I was 20 years old as a part-time dispatcher.
Okay.
I went full-time and worked on patrol for about 5 years. And then I went to criminal investigations. While in criminal investigations, I made sergeant, and then I was promoted to captain and put over patrol.
Okay.
During that time, I received my degree, associate's degree from ABAC over here in Tifton. That's where I went to the police academy. And I got a bachelor's degree in criminal justice administration from the University of Phoenix. I didn't do it online. I actually went to class like like normal.
Like normal people.
Yes, and then my chief at the time, Chief Mike Jones, he was a mentor to me. He sent me to Columbus State University through the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police, where I received my master's degree in public administration.
Oh, wow.
So I've
Got a lot of training,
a good bit of training.
and some in the field training too, it sounds like, with you being on patrol.
Oh, yes, yes, I have worked my way up through the ranks, and I've done everything but work drugs.
Okay.
And that just never really interested me. I didn't want to live that kind of life, so
Right.
my mom told me to stay away from drugs, so I did, even at work. But I've enjoyed my years of policing, and I hope that I can make things better here in Douglas. We do have a great staff here. I didn't come into a problemed department. We got a great bunch of men and women, and I just want to build on what we have here already.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. Now, since you have taken your position, what is like a priority that you see that we really need here in Douglas? That, you know, maybe with us living here, we didn't see it before, but now that, you know, now that some of the news coming in.
A lot of the officers, most of the staff that are here, they've grown up here. They know a lot of people, and it's not, they think that they're part of the community because they know everybody.
Right.
But I want to strengthen those relationships that the officers and the command staff have with the community, and actually get out and be a part of the community, meet with the residents, hear the residents' thoughts, work with the community to solve crime, not even solve crime, prevent crime. I think that's one of the main things that we need to do is prevent crime, and with that, you have to be a part of the community. One of my big priorities is community-oriented policing, and I plan on making assignments for every person in the department, including me, as a liaison to the community. Community-oriented policing is not just a program; it's a way of life.
Right.
And I want everyone here to be a part of that, and I want the citizens of Douglas to expect that out of their officers.
Right.
Police officers always hate to hear, "I pay your check." Well, the citizens do pay our paycheck, and that's what we owe. We owe the community, the city of Douglas, and our residents a lot as far as what they expect. And we want to make sure that we're in the community making a difference.
That's right. Now, you touched a little bit on community policing. Y'all are building relationships within the community by hosting several different events since you have been here in Douglas and in our community. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on.
Yes, we've had 2 events, Coffee with a Cop. We had one at Holt's Bakery, and then we had one at Northcutt Soul Food down on Gaskin. Just sit around and drink coffee and give the community a chance to come in and sit down and talk with us. Most of the times when residents have an interaction with a police officer, it's because something bad has happened, or they're receiving a ticket. And that shouldn't be the only time that our citizens have contact with our police officers. I want everybody to feel comfortable approaching our police officers. I want the kids to run to the police, not run away from the police. I don't want the kids to be afraid of the police. And that gave us a chance to sit down and talk to residents on one-on-one. And we've also had pizza with the police. We did that at the city pool about a month and a half ago. And we plan on having more events like that. And I've talked to several business owners that want to partner with us. and be a part of those programs, and we plan on expanding those programs
Right. And
as we move.
It sounds like y'all are already, building some relationships, if you've already got some businesses that want to help out.
Yes, I want to be not only a community-oriented policing with the residents, but the businesses as well. I want the businesses to feel welcome to call us. If they need us, feel free to call us. It's not a bother. If they call and we get there and it's nothing, it's nothing. But if we call and we get there, if they call and we get there and something's really going on, I want us to make sure that we do what we can to help them.
Right. Well, I can say that there has been, through my years of growing up with the city, because I started when I was like 25. But I have worked in a job where I would often go into buildings by myself, facilities at different times. And not too long ago, I went in the Martin Center, and everybody says this building's haunted, that building's haunted, and different things. But I actually heard the door slam, and I, for once, I thought about it, and I said, something just
Maybe
don't
so.
seem right. So, of course, I called the non-emergency 911 number, and your guys immediately showed up. They didn't, they weren't like, what are you doing, picking at me or nothing like that. They took it legitimately, walked through the building with me, and we checked everything out. And even though we didn't find anybody, because that ghost, snuck out the back door, we didn't find anybody, but I never once felt like, oh, they're going to think this was a useless call.
Yeah.
They really treated me with respect, and said anytime told me again, and not just because I'm a city employee, they said anytime you feel like you need to call.
And I've pushed that. I want everybody to feel welcome. That if they call us, if it's important enough for you to call us, then we'll talk to you about it. Anything can be an issue for anybody, and just because it's not a big issue to the police officer at the time, it's an issue to somebody.
Right.
So we want to listen. We're going to do what we can to help people out, and if it's nothing, it's nothing. We're there to help.
You'd probably much rather it be nothing.
I would much rather it be nothing. I'd much rather us not have crime and not have traffic issues, but we're going to have that.
That's right. Now, you mentioned some of your activities that you hosted, but I'm going to have to put you on the spot for a minute. Y'all just had the National Night Out event.
Yes.
It was at South Georgia State College, and I can say over the past few years that we've hosted this event, you are the first chief I've seen to get in the Duncan booth and have a ball. I mean,
It was fun.
Enjoyed it.
They had already started the preliminary planning of National Night Out when I got here, and Captain Perkins, he really took the lead on this and arranged with all the other agencies. We had agencies from all over the county, the Georgia State Patrol, the GBI, the fire departments, Douglas and Coffee County. There was the sheriff's office, and Captain Perkins worked really hard to bring everybody together as one for that event. But they asked, have we thought about having a dunking booth? And I said, your dunking booth? They said, yes. Who gets into that? Well, we have police officers get in if they like to dunk the police officers. I says, sign me up.
Yep.
It was hot. There was a lot of people there, and I got to get in there and have fun. And some of the kids, they even though they couldn't hit the circle to dunk me, I would jump in anyway to make them feel like they did. But it was a lot of fun, and I think it's important for people to see us police officers as people too.
Right.
We like to have fun, we like to laugh, and we like to joke, and I think that's important for everybody to see. I also got a Sergeant Whitley. He's over our training and professional standards. He also got into the booth, and he took a couple of dunks for us, but he dunked me with one pitch, so he may be on morning watch for a while after he dunked me on the first pitch, but it was fun. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
But yes, everybody did enjoy it.
It was quite enjoyable.
Well, what other activities are you planning for the future, like different community events that you might be able to participate in?
We of course want to have more pizza with the police. We want to have more coffee with a cop, but we plan on having a lot more community meetings. I hope to have a PAC program, police and the citizens together. It's a program that we had at my previous agency that I helped plan up there, and it brings the community and the police together. And we had quarterly meetings. You had to have 3 meetings a year with your PACT officer. So each community, like the golf course community, would have their PACT officer. South Gaskin Avenue would have their PACT officer. the neighborhood around Unity Park would have an officer, and it'd be their officer assigned to their community that they can call upon if they need them. And we would have to have 3 meetings a year with that community, face-to-face, one-on-one, and hear their concerns, allow us to communicate with them, allow them to communicate with us, and that's very important to me. And as we get positions filled, we've been very short-handed. If we get positions filled, that's one of the first things that we want to do when we get some free positions, that are not having to answer calls all the time, is start working in community policing with the community.
Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions or if they want to contact you directly, is there a line that they can call?
They can call I believe it's 912-389-384. I'm still learning phone numbers. 384-2222, and just ask to speak with the chief. It might go to my secretary, and Glenda, she can take a message, or she can put them through my voicemail. But I've had several citizens stop in, come in and see me. If I'm there, if I'm not tied up in meetings, I'll be more than glad to meet with anybody. And I've met with a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people have come in and just sat down, and we've always got coffee. That's one thing we always have. We always have coffee, so feel free to come in and stop and see us and have a cup of coffee. If I'm not there, Deputy Chief Pruitt or Captain McCullough or Captain Perkins are usually there if I'm not there, and one of them can sit down and talk to you for a few minutes. But please feel free to stop by. And I've been going into the businesses here locally and talking to folks. I've been out in the community. I try to get on Friday afternoons and ride around and talk to folks. And feel free to stop me.
Okay.
And we'll talk.
All right. Well, you heard it here. You can just stop.
Yes.
For a change, you can stop the police officer.
Yeah, you can stop the police officer, and you may not be able to give me a ticket. You might, but hopefully not.
All right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Come join us for the Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas. Free admission to the public. Come enjoy food trucks, unique finds, visit with live wildlife, and enjoy downtown entertainment with live music featuring Dark Desert Highway and Eagles Tribute Band. Fun for all kids and kids at heart. Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas.
Hi, and welcome back to the Douglas On My Mind show, and I am very happy to have Mr. Jerome Lovin right back. How are you today?
I'm doing fine, but I got a different hat on.
That's right. We are here right now to talk about the Childhood Cancer Awareness Group of Coffee County. A lot of people may or may not be aware of the group that is here to help families with children who have been diagnosed with cancer. But Jerome, tell us a little bit about how did this group get started, and just a little bit about the things that they are planning on doing.
Well, first of all, I thank you, and I'm honored to be here to sit and talk with this organization, because this is, I would say, not the first, the second best organization you can have.
Yes.
I'm a veteran, so I got to take partial of them. But yes, they were formed in 2011. Their purpose was to advocate for children that's diagnosed with childhood cancer. It's a 501c nonprofit organization, and the mission was and is to help families, pretty much, to help them.
That's right.
Help them with financial assistance, emotional and spiritual support, and information to those families that have children with childhood cancer. And so why take this mission?
Yes.
Because more children die of childhood cancer than any other disease. That's why.
Now, is there a specific time of the year that people should, have this on their mind or be prepared for the Childhood Cancer Awareness Group to start asking for donations? Is there like a set time of the year that this goes on?
But September is primarily the focal month of the year, but there are individuals working year-round with families of children who have childhood cancer. For instance, September, we do our biggest fundraisers. This year, one of the fundraisers is T-shirts, and anybody want T-shirts, they're available now. They can be picked up at the headquarters down on Madison, right across from, the Telepiana company in the building there. The taller shirts, the extra large is $15. The adult at $2 per X. You go over extra large, and you can get 5X up to 6X, but they'll be plain blue T-shirts. And again, during the month of September, that's the biggest fundraising month. we're raising funds, and funds speak for itself, that's money. Also need donations to use for the items for our annual auction. That's the silent and the live auction. So that's what we need. We're gearing up for that. This year, on August 23rd, 24th, and 25th, the Wiley Hammer is doing a fundraiser for childhood cancer. And all the donations, contributions go for childhood cancer. There are different events going at the ATV Park, Mud Fest concert, Danny Dawson, Lance Stinson, and Creekside Band, golf cart, poker run, water slide, and so on. And if you need information about that, you can call 912-381-3505.
Okay.
So that's
at Wiley Hammock.
Wiley Hammock, yes.
Coming up this weekend.
Yes.
All right. How does the group use the funds raised or use the items that they collect for the auction? How do they use that?
Well, that's the auction they're used for that biggest fundraiser I'm talking about, the silent and live auction. On Friday, the fourth weekend of in September of each year is the weekend we use for this event. And there's a silent auction and a live auction.
Right.
And the silent auction starts from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. The public is asked to come out and bid on items. They bid on those items and the type of items they can bid on are baked goods, bacon-related items, toys, home decor, business, service, and much, much more.
Now, also on that Friday, if they have some items there, which I really enjoy, are the baked items that you can immediately purchase. You don't have to bid on some of them. You can go ahead and buy those goodies.
That is correct. Buy those items, and you can pay buy it right then. So
Right.
that's the Friday. And then on Saturday is the live auction. This is when the public come in and they go through. You got the auctioneer, and they bid on these items, and they pay for them. It starts at 7 p.m. However, before the live auction, there's a catered meal that is served. And I'm talking about a down-home meal.
It is.
You
I have
talk-
been there, and it is really good.
Well, just an idea. You're talking about green beans, potato salad, Boston butt, leg quarters, assorted desserts, banana pudding, peach cobbler, tea,
And that banana
lemonade.
pudding,
Oh,
it'll make you
something
slap
like
somebody.
that. Tickets are pre-sale, and it's $15 donation. But what a small price for a gigantic cost,
That's right.
just to come out and enjoy yourself. And also, there's a raffle going on right now. Got a raffle. It's a golf cart, first prize, a Ruger 10-22 rifle, the second prize, and third prize is $100 cash. And those tickets are $10 donation, and they can be picked up at the headquarters, again on Madison, at South Georgia Business, Ultimate Graphics, several banks around town, Colony Bank, Ameris Bank, Dulles National Bank, and First National Bank of Coffee County. And as soon as the golf cart is up and ready, it'll be in front of these banks showing what it looks like. So come take a look and go buy a ticket because we need that. Silent auction will be Friday the 27th of September this year,
Okay.
and the live auction is Saturday, September 28th this year. However, we need some help.
Yes.
We're going to hang bowls at 9 a.m. on Saturday, August 24th. And if you want to help, meet at Fender Goggins in the parking lot across from Salem Funeral Home. And so we need somebody to come and hang the bowls all over the city of Douglas.
Yeah, that's when everybody gets to see the gold bows downtown.
Correct.
My daughter and I helped out last year, and I helped the year before, but she really enjoyed it. So, I mean, it's something that you can do to help build some volunteer spirit in your children, too, because it's not that hard, to tie a bow on a lamppost.
Let me ask you a question. Is giving something you do, or is it giving talk?
It is.
Either way it comes, giving feels good to me.
That's right.
So community service, giving of your time, because, everybody got time sometime.
That's right.
And all you got to do is look at your calendar. I asked a veteran when we talking about coming out and help. I said, you look in the mirror, and if your conscience say you can't go, that's you and your conscience.
That's
So
right.
on the 24th, if you look in the mirror and say, I don't have time, that's between you and your conscience.
That's right.
But come out and help.
But there's always something else, too, that they can help volunteer for.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Yes, there's another, day in and day out. And I'm not there all the time. I just give what I can.
Yes, sir.
And that's all it's at. Give what you can give. Your time, if you got a lot of money, give a little bit of it.
Right. Now, I can say, what does the financial and emotional support, when you say that, Can you explain a little bit more? I can tell you 100% on the financial, the emotional support, but I'm gonna let you talk from your standpoint.
Here's what it got. Well, first of all, a lot of people sit back and say, well, it's not going to happen to me.
Right.
Well, your day's coming. Just know that. Keep living. In cases where a child is diagnosed with childhood cancer, they have to go to appointments and doctor's visits and stayed in the hospital.
Right.
The kid can't stay by him or herself. One or both parents are there all the time. And we've experienced where one of the parents has to stop working. That may be the breadwinner or half and half to make that family survive. So there's rent, there's food, there's medical bills, there's car notes, all these things that's required. Childhood cancer has been blessed to fill the gap. So that's what they do with these funds, and they control them good and tight. They make sure that it's the reason you're asking for it. So, that's a terrible disease to have, and like I said, just keep living. Your day will come. This is why I give all I can give, because I've been blessed. Folks gave me all my life, so time to give back.
Well, I can tell you, just from my personal standpoint, when my son was diagnosed with cancer back in 2015, I knew about the Childhood Cancer Awareness Group of Coffee County, and I had helped out as much as I could. But when they immediately, without anybody even asking, because at that time it was an emergency. I mean, I didn't care how anything got paid. I was worried about my child, and that's where you're at that point. And they are one of the best groups I've ever been associated with, and ever since then I've tried to do all that I can, because they come in, yes, they do ask some questions, because no, they can't just give money out. But with me having a little bit of a financial background too, I know that you got the IRS for them, you've got your checklist of what you've got to ask for. And I've never once had any issue with any part of having any type of financial assistance, especially at that time, because like you were saying, you're as a parent, one of you have to be there all the time. And when something like that is going on, at the first beginning of it, both parents want to be there.
Yes.
And they can help with paying for hotel bills, as long as it's associated with the disease or
travel,
with the child being treated. So it's a really good cause.
You talk about asking personal questions. Well, there's an accounting process that has to be taken care of.
That's right.
And also, would you like to give $1,000 and then it just thrown up in the air? Would you like somebody to control it and account for it? That's what it's about.
It is.
Not getting into your personal business, to make sure it's necessary for that money to be spent.
That's right. So I just want anybody that gives to this organization should know straight from my mouth, it is beneficial to the families during that time. And as far as the emotional support, I don't think I could have made it back then without God, family, friends, and the Childhood Cancer Awareness Group, because those type of those people, and I hate to say those people, but the people who are members of the group have been through it. Either they probably had somebody that they love touched by it, and it affects an awful lot of children in our communities around Douglas and Coffee County. But one thing that I wasn't sure of whenever everything was going on, are these funds just for people in Coffee County?
Well, I wouldn't say just for the organization tried to keep the fund within Douglas and Coffee County, but there have been times when they have assisted county contingent to Coffee County, such as Atkinson, Bentonville, Davis, and all the funds are available. They don't take the funds that needed for a Coffee County child and give it away. They want to take care of Coffee County first.
Right.
So they could.
And there are some other agencies in the counties even that are touching Coffee County. I've seen that because of what our group has done, they help set up groups in these other counties too. They've been able to offer some guidance with how people can do that to help out their county.
Yes.
So they're paying it forward all the time. Everybody
Yes.
in that group is. Well, we kind of know how I got involved with the group, but Jerome, tell us how did you get involved with it?
I left here when I was a kid and I came back and I started going in the community doing what I do, and I would ask by an individual to come go to this meeting with them. And when I went to the meeting, I said, just think of the mission. Who we are helping? How can you say no? So I fill out the application, and the rest is history. But for anybody else, everybody, there's an application process. Especially for someone requesting assistance for their child. And we talked briefly about the accounting process. They must, go through that process, the application and being approved and so on. But we meet 5:30 on a Tuesday, and, Curl is at the headquarters down on Madison Ave, South Madison Avenue. And throughout the year, we've met at the Cough Regional Medical Center. But we get group texts and email, Facebook messages from the president or someone saying, hey, the meeting time and location, and we show up. But if you are asking to donate, seeking to join, or seeking assistance, call these people. These people. Barbara Darker, 912-381-3122. Lisa Aldridge at 912-381-9860. Julie Harper, 912-384-2287. The President, Karen Metters, at 912-393-7942. Out there.
Yes,
I'm a worker.
that's right.
I work.
And I'll tell you, these ladies will put you to work.
They put me to work. Y'all take care of the money. I go and do the work.
Yeah. Now, one other thing that we've already talked about, auction, whenever you have the live auction on that Saturday night, it's really something to sit through. I was shocked, and I have to say this, that we are blessed with individuals in Coffee County and surrounding counties that come to this event and give. And I think the main reason they give is because they know that it doesn't matter if they're bidding on a cake or bidding on a car wash essential pack or something like that. They know that they're helping children in the end.
I stood back and watched an auction off of a cake. I think it went for $800.
Right. I bet that was the best cake.
They come to give. That's about giving. So they say, I'm going to get this little item and give a big buck. So you're right. It's something to see.
So if somebody wants to help out at all, then Mr. Lovin just gave those numbers, and we'll be sure to flash them up some more. And if you want to give to the Childhood Cancer Group of Coffee County, they are a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Correct.
And Ron spoke earlier. They do need items for the auction and for different things throughout the year. So, Jerome, tell us a little bit more what else people can do to help with the organization.
Well, mostly is come and give some of your time, because when we're putting out flags around the city, that's manual labor.
Right.
When we're setting up for the auctions, that's manual labor.
Okay.
So just give your time and give dollars.
That's right.
That's it.
All right. And if anybody wants to know more about the organization, they can contact Julie Harper at 912-384-2287. A lot of other phone numbers that we can list, and we're almost out of time for today. Unfortunately, I can't give all the numbers, but if anybody has a question, they can contact me at the City of Douglas too at 912-383-0277.
And just remember the purpose and
That's
the
right.
mission of those, and tell me how you can't give.
That's right. All right. Thank you for being here, and I'm so happy you were able to wear 2 different hats today.
Wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Yeah, this community keeps you busy. All right. Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.
Come join us for the Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas. Free admission to the public. Come enjoy food trucks, unique finds, visit with live wildlife, and enjoy downtown entertainment with live music featuring Dark Desert Highway and Eagles Tribute Band. Fun for all kids and kids at heart. Gopher Tortoise Festival, September 6th through 7th in downtown Douglas.
Welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show, and we are out of time today. So thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you again next month.